This podcast is about entrepreneurship, spirituality, and self-care. My name is Lourdes, and I am the host of the show. Thank you for listening today. Hello and welcome back. And even the most seasoned mediums have days when the connection just isn't there. In this episode, I talk openly about what it feels like when you can't read for a sitter and how to handle it with compassion, integrity, and grace. If you're a practicing medium or just curious about what goes on behind the scenes, this one's for you. Have you ever had one of those days where everything just feels off? Yeah, me too. And in mediumship, that can really be a hard thing to sit with, especially when someone's in front of you hoping for a message from their loved ones. So today, I want to talk about what happens when spirit just doesn't come through, or when the energy feels heavy, or when I can't seem to connect clearly, and how I handle that both as a medium and as a human being. Let's be honest, this work isn't always predictable. Mediumship isn't like flipping a switch. It's not always instant. And some days, no matter how grounded I am, how much I've prepped, the connection just isn't strong. There can be a million reasons why. Maybe the sitter is nervous. Maybe they're closed off, and I wonder why they even come if they're not open-minded. Then maybe spirit is waiting for the right time. Or maybe I'm just having low energy day, emotionally, physically, or spiritually. And there are times when our emotions and things just come up from family members or friends that may upset you, and it throws your game off, and you're not getting the right connection with spirit. And you know what? It's okay. Or what if you're sick? If you have allergies that are affecting you really bad that day and you have a reading and then you try to connect to spirit and it doesn't work out. And again, it's okay. Some of the things I think that interfere with a good connection is when we don't feel good physically or mentally. I feel like there's some kind of a wall, like an invisible wall, that's just not letting me get through that glass wall to connect to the other side. And there are days when I have had good readings when I was not feeling 100% physically well. I could have had a cold or a sore throat. And those days just, wow, I have good readings. But then there are days when I don't have good readings, when I don't feel great. And one last thing, sometimes you and the client are just not right for each other. In that case, I always refer my sitter to a different medium to see if they have a better reading. But that's after I try it again a second time for the reader. And like I said, if the second time doesn't work, then I refer them to another medium. Is another alternative to, feel like you have integrity with the client. Or, hey, maybe I'm just having a low energy day emotionally, physically, or spiritually. And you know what? It's okay. It doesn't mean I've lost my ability. It doesn't mean spirit is mad at me. It just means I'm human. I used to beat myself up about this. I'd replay the reading in my head, wondering what I missed. But over time, I've learned to be honest with myself and with the person in front of me. If a reading isn't flowing right, I'll gently pause and say something like this. I want to be really transparent, and I'm not getting a strong connection right now. That doesn't mean it won't happen another time, but in this moment, I'm not going to force it. because forcing it, that's not integrity. And I always want to honor the person sitting with me and spirit too. When that happens, I offer to reschedule, or sometimes I offer a refund and give them the choice. Most people are incredibly understanding. In fact, some feel more connected because they know I'm not just performing, quote and unquote, performing. I'm listening to what's real. So, if you're a medium or in any kind of an intuitive practitioner or practice, you've had days when you just can't connect. Please know you're not alone. This happens, and it doesn't mean or make you less gifted. It just makes you human, and it reminds us to stay humble and keep our hearts open. All right. So thank you for being here today, for allowing me to share the behind the scenes side of this sacred work. And if you've experienced this too, I'd love to hear about it. Message me, share your story, or leave a comment wherever you're listening. And if you're someone who's received a reading that didn't quite land the right way, I hope this gives you a little insight into what might happen. I'll guarantee you that spirit always shows up when the time is right. Until next time, keep your heart open and trust the process. Thanks for listening. I hope that you enjoyed this podcast, and please share this episode with your friends. Please subscribe, rate, and review this episode. Thanks for listening.